with how this season is going because you guys are not joining in this season, but I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. What is going on, guys? I am Flynn Masters, and welcome to the penultimate episode. I cannot believe I'm saying that. The penultimate episode of Hell's Kitchen Season 24, Battle of the States. And of course, as you guys saw, it's been an interesting past couple of days. I thought I was going to have Virginia on. And before that, I thought I was going to have some Jessica along with that. But you know what? I'm really happy who we've gotten said with respect to those two because he is one of the most dynamic characters on one of Hell's Kitchen's most beloved and most watched season. I am so glad to be joined by Matt. Matt, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I really love your content and I do watch it. I kind of shut everybody else's off, but yours is really good.
There we go. That's all. You know what? Sometimes I just need to hear a comment like that because some people don't think that way. So that's good. That's good. I appreciate that, man. So yeah, guys, as I said, have plenty of comments about your questions ready for Matt. I'm sure again you'll have a lot to talk about. But we got our co-host with us as well. Ultra, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad. I don't think it shows, but I've probably mentioned this a handful of times. Given my time zone 2 days, but for most of y'all 3 days, I turned the big 3-0.
Oh my goodness! Congratulations! Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "You're almost 30, like this close to it." I don't know what it is. Like I'm not doing anything, and yeah, that endears people to me. It's like, what? You just naturally look that youthful? I guess. I don't know.
Nice, dude. That's Jem. Oh, and Jem, should you tell the stream that this is kind of a big day for you?
Yeah, I guess it's a big day in the sense that we're going to be doing. I kind of changed my mind in terms of how we're going to be handling the popularity contest. We're going to be doing the rest of them today because I'm going on vacation next week, so I'm really excited for that. But unfortunately, that just means that I won't be there for the last podcast.
Yeah, guys, so we got to make this a good one. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that's it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to proceed. And at one point, we're going to do the eliminations a bit early. And then we're going to launch another poll for the top 22. And then tonight, you guys are just going to vote for the winners.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'll calculate.
We're getting it all done. So it's a big day. We got Matt on. And of course, this is going to be Jem's last stream of season 24. And we're doing the popularity contest. So a big show. And it's a good way to start. Hasco Fox to become a YouTube member. Get a W for Hasco in the comments. Thank you so much, man. But we didn't forget about you, Gumball. Gumball, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, man. I mean, things are going pretty well. Traders started last week. Aside from that, nothing too crazy going on aside from Matt being here with us and this episode here to talk about.
Yeah, guys, let's get right into some questions for Matt. I know this is one. Let's get into the migraine lore. Did it really happen, or just the stress, or how that whole Black Jacket episode is quite interesting for you to say the least. So if you want to get some on that. Yeah,
it was actually a real migraine.
All right.
Thank God for Emgality came out, which I inject once a month. I had my first migraine about 3 weeks ago, first time in 2 years. It was really a real migraine. I don't need to fake my way out of a kitchen. I've been in enough professional kitchens, especially back home in New York City, before even doing Hell's Kitchen. And did way more covers than what we did in Hell's Kitchen, especially working in Caesars in Atlantic City. So I could deal with the pressure and everything. Truthfully, there was a lot of lack of sleep. I do have sleep apnea. I don't even think I brought my CPAP with me out there. The lighting is very hot, and I gotta tell you, I was really deprived of food. There was really nothing to eat in the dorms, and
which is funny, yeah, given Hell's Kitchen, but yeah.
Well, that's the one time I was eating steak in the kitchen and Ramsey yelled at me is because I was fucking starving and I had to eat something, and it was like, all right, you don't want to serve this? I'm eating it.
Honestly, dude, yeah, honestly.
So I mean, you take all that, and I was pissed because I was backstabbed on the show. There's a lot of editing and there's a lot of stuff you don't see, and at that point I was pretty just pissed off because, in all honesty, I my first kitchen, I really learned about teamwork. I was with some guys that really did have egos, and they never had it with me in the kitchen. Especially, I didn't even go to culinary school at that point. I was in my late 20s. I left Wall Street. I left finance, and I went to do something I was passionate about. So
Nice.
that's why I say I'm a true culinarian on this show, because of who I worked with. And
but what happened? Sorry, actually, what I meant to say is, I guess, two questions. First of which is, what when you were rewatching the episode where you were eliminated, did you feel a bit? How did you feel when Gordon Ramsay like grabs you by the arm and kind of walks you out of the kitchen there and tells you to go lie down in the dorms? What was that like?
I was trying not to laugh still when he told me he has a fucking migraine ever since I came into the kitchen. I mean, some of the shit that comes out of his mouth, it has me cracking up. And like I said, I worked with Robert Irvine before you guys got to see him on Food Network. So I seen him live raw, and I happen to be a favorite of his. And, when you're a chef's favorite, you don't get it harder than anyone else does. And, Robert was the type of guy that if he didn't like you, he wouldn't talk to you. And there's people that worked at Caesar's will attest to that too. But it was, it was just it was a moment I wanted to laugh, but I was also in a lot of pain. I was also starting to black out a little bit because of the aura that I was getting. My tongue was numb. I also had a migraine pill that Merck manufactured that I had a sample of, and I was hoping it would hit and try to work through it. And he just grabbed me and brought me out of the kitchen. I didn't know what to do at that point. I went upstairs. I puked. You can't really go to sleep because they got the lights on. They don't even turn the lights on in the bedroom until everybody else has their eyes closed in the bedrooms. So sometimes I don't even know anything with time or anything because there was really no clocks around there. But, production spoke to me. What do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Am I supposed to quit now because I got thrown out of the kitchen? Well, you had to talk to Ramsay, and you guys saw a part of that where he told me, you weren't the worst. Go out there and fight. To me, what that's saying is, Matt, you're not going home tonight. You weren't the worst. The problem is having a migraine is it's not a headache. It's a neurological disorder. And I can't get my words, and I should have turned around and say, well, Christina, you did an amateur thing by putting beef and chicken together. I could have pointed out a few things Corey did. Those were the two people that were targeting me the most, and I was shocked at what happened between Christina and I. So, which, if you want to ask that question, I'll be more than happy to answer. But
we'll definitely get into that. I think the big question.
What about the technicality of? Actually, sorry, Flynn.
Sure.
Yeah, well, because this is the big question I think everyone wants to know. We got to bring it up, which you're probably most known for. You probably know where I'm going with this. The exotic tartar. We got to ask about that.
All right.
Yeah, just give us the lore.
I'll tell you why I did something cold, and I explained it to Gordon too. I don't forget where I came from. My dad and my family grew up in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Grandfather died. They lived in the Pink House projects in East New York, which is really worse than the Marcy projects where Jay-Z was from. So I don't forget where I came from. My first kitchen, I wrote to no one in New York City was giving me a job. I didn't go to culinary school. Matthew Kenny, who has his own issues in life, but he gave me a break. Go see Jeremy Griffiths, who happens to be from Wales, and he was in New York Culinary Chronicles, top-notch chef, worked for Michelle Rashad, and he's like, I can't pay you. He goes, I know Matthew told me to hire you, and Matthew Kenny was actually going to pay for me to go to culinary school too. That's how much passion the chef saw in me. But Jeremy's like, I'll tell you what, if you become my apprentice like I was in France, earn a spot in my kitchen, which I did, which was Garde Manger, and a lot of stuff I did in there was more than just making a Caesar salad. I had to learn how to make his vegetable terrine and perfect it and all that other stuff. So I never saw an episode of Hell's Kitchen, and somebody where I was working at in one of the pharmaceutical companies as a sous chef in their corporate dining room. Asked me if I ever watched the show. I watched it. I couldn't understand how people can't scramble eggs, crack lobster. Like, I didn't realize all the elements in the show. I also noticed, I don't know how long it takes. If I cook a steak, how much long is the resting period if it's going to get the food cold? And the one thing that I was taught by my first chef was don't ever be ashamed of being, we're starting off on garde manger, because it's not easy to take something cold and season it to perfection. That dish with the exotic tartare and you know, was something I did with Chef Keith Mitchell, who eventually became the executive chef at Caesars, and who's one of my greatest mentors and one of those chefs that is phenomenal but doesn't like the spotlight type chefs. And it's something that we did at a dinner. I didn't, you know, I really didn't have time to caramelize, crystallize the lime, but all it was a carpaccio of scallops with fresh lime juice, lime zest, salt, pepper, a little caviar on top, and white chocolate. And a lot of people like, who the hell puts chocolate with seafood? Well, Amar Santana, who won Top Chef, actually after he won, he posted a dish with scallops, and he did it hot with white chocolate. First of all, scallops is very lean protein. White chocolate is not chocolate. It's a fat. So I was adding fat to something and a little sweetness to it. And the other side of the dish was just a classic tartare, but instead of using beef, I used venison. Yeah. So I was nervous going up there. I didn't know what to say. And I called it an exotic tartare. I don't know why, but I wanted to stick to my roots. And Ramsey had about 15-minute conversation with that. With that being said, watch it again. Did you ever actually see anything come out of the man's mouth? And that's why I was like this with my face. Like, I was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Come and think of it. No.
I've never brought that up.
Okay,
Yeah,
we see him like heave into the trash can, but we don't see the actual contents, which granted, maybe if there was anything that came out, that might just been something they didn't want to show people because, you know, like graphic. But then again, what's the point of the
in all seriousness, though, in the future episode when we went to go to and rest in peace, Kerry Simon, rock and roll chef, when we went to his place for dessert, Gordon in the middle of it, and they don't show it, turns around, he goes, ask this fucking nut job what he did with chocolate. And I told him, and he went like this, he goes, rock on, dude, that's awesome. And Ramsey's like, fuck off. And he's like, you know, you English people don't like sweet stuff. I mean, I really think
that is true, because he's also the guy who says, like, you don't put pineapple on pizza.
Exactly.
You know, okay, here's the thing. That's one of those things that doesn't sound like it works and probably shouldn't, but I like Hawaiian pizza. I think it does kind of work. I can't really explain why, but I like it. So, you know.
No, but like, dude, my Quebec bros were like, we don't put pineapple on pizza. We put bacon on pizza. Like, let's be honest.
Well, bacon, yeah. Okay, I'll be frank. Yeah, bacon is better than pineapple on pizza. Bacon's better on anything because it's bacon.
Yeah, there's actually a pizza called the Montrealer where it's basically like 3 meats. That's about it. Like,
and one other thing, real quick. The funniest thing is Roseanne and I kind of know each other. I went to high school with her sister.
Oh, wow.
When we went to when we were out in LA, like after our casting calls, when we had to go through the whole process with the production, we got to the airport and I saw her and we were like, why do you look familiar? And I'm like, I grew up on Staten Island. And then we got shushed by the production people where we couldn't say where we're from. But they showed Roseanne laughing. And you can see the sleeve of my shirt. Now, I know when I was on Hell's Kitchen, I was a pretty big guy. And there's no way I could be 10 feet standing in front of Ramsey and standing next to Roseanne at the same time. So, I mean, right there and then, it's like she's not laughing at my dish, but everyone watching the show and in TV land's thinking, she's laughing at me, and she really isn't. But
For sure.
Yeah, I think I recognize that Matt guy over there.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, cool. Yeah, so definitely a lot of good lore there. So now, another big thing we got to talk about. We'll get to the Ben, because that's probably what you're also most known for. One of the most iconic rivalries in Hell's Kitchen, and people can say maybe not like you or either of you or one or the other, but I think it's safe to say, what Ben's done since Hell's Kitchen. People have definitely grown to being more in your favor. So. So just what was it as bad as it's shown? Like the blue team was ganging up on you and Ben was just literally just hiding, it doesn't surprise me.
All right. So on the very first episode where Ramsey if you notice on the bus, I kept my mouth shut on there because I see this guy get on that kind of looks like Ozzy, and I'm like, there's no way that's not fucking prosthetic.
Thank you. I'm like,
So,
I looked at it, I was like, please tell me y'all don't think there's something a little bit odd about how this guy looks.
If you notice, the only thing I said was I turned around the Craig, and I'm like, dude, I would take that hat off. He's gonna shove it up your ass, which he used later on. But when we were doing the challenge, Ben actually was really cool walking around, asking anybody if they needed help. I don't know. Something Ben, Bobby, and Petroza were all in one room, and I guess us other outcasts were in the other room. Dominic, me, Jason,
Craig,
Lou Ross, yeah, and Ben started all this shit with trying to, he was like the little dog in Bobby's ear, and I'm surprised that Bobby even felt. And I love Bobby to death. We don't talk as much as we used to, but after the show, we talk pretty much once, twice a week. But Bobby and I actually met at the casting call in New York City, and we were pretty cool with each other. So when that was happening, it was just, all right, what's Ben doing? And Ben's like, Bobby, I think we should do this. Petroza, what do you think? Petroza, right? Blah, 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 Ben and I talked on the final episode right before we started filming it, because I really wanted to go and help Petroza out. I didn't want to help. I would have helped Christina out, but later on you can ask me what happened that when I say the word backstabbed. But
Oh,
Ben actually apologized and said, listen, you were the one competitor I was afraid of the most.
interesting.
And you know what? Ben and Bobby kept on saying this is a dangerous game. I mean, we joked around and stuff. I mean, listen, there's a lot of stuff that, they'll ask me a question while I'm in the confession room. And if they didn't like my answer, they push. They might tell me somebody said this about you and all this other stuff. Like I kind of, when Jen picked Corey to go with her to Vegas, I turned around and said, wow, that's the Cobra and the Mongoose hanging out. And they came back and they both asked me about that. I'm like, come on, guys, you two don't like each other. A Mongoose and a Cobra don't like each other. I wasn't talking shit about you. I'm just surprised that Jen picked you. And, I know why Jen picked her. Which I might not want to talk about, but she pretty much had no choice.
Speaking of Jen, and
now I'm kind of just. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jen,
I got to tell you,
okay,
Ben did have talent. I do respect Ben as a chef. Ben let the game, and this is the whole thing. A lot of us didn't realize the game of it. There's a lot of shit Ben caught on to where he point to something for me to look at and realize too, which we could talk about more later. I really feel bad for Ben at the end. Ben's pizza should have won. I don't think there was grit and dirt in it. I think the fact that there was no teamwork where he didn't even look at my pizza or give Lou Ross's, because he just thought it was a plain pizza, which Lou Ross did, a plain pizza with sauce on it, but the sauce was very hearty and really good. So I think he did it to knock Ben's peg down by giving us a loss, to be totally honest, if that's the way the show's going to go. What Ben did after the show, I can't explain his behavior. I feel bad that happened, something may have snapped in him. And I'm not going to make, if he has something mentally going on, I don't like people that hit women. And people think, someone called me, I made a comment. I watched one of your videos last week and somebody called me chauvinistic. First of all, in one of the episodes, they asked Matt, what was it like losing the women? I'm like, I didn't lose the women. I lost the fellow chefs. And I got to tell you, I don't like the premise of this sexist show where you have men versus women when it's hard for women in kitchens to survive. And usually it's the women that have a set of balls that are able to deal with, because to me, working in the kitchen was like working on Wall Street. You saw Wolf of Wall Street, fuck this, blah, 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 cocksucker bitch and all,
Yeah, that was one of my favorite. Honestly, I watched that film right before I went into finance. I'm like, shit, like this gave me a drive at that point in time. But it was that film was just really funny just for the vulgarity of it, honestly.
I have two things to add on to that. One,
sure.
In your plea that you gave before you got swapped to the red team, you literally said you have no problem working in a kitchen with women. So, I don't know where chauvinistic would even come from. Like, I believed you. Like,
it's honestly the truth.
Yeah, Matt, I believe you too. I think Ultra
calling you chauvinistic on the same season that Jason's on.
So, I know.
Like, I'm sorry. I think your enemies to go after than you.
Meanwhile, he's the jackass that jumped in the hot tub with them too.
But Ultra, I
hate this guy so much.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jason was to me. He was so tone deaf on what was going on.
I refuse. He's probably him and maybe only two people that I will not talk to ever again in my life.
Yeah. So
no questions there.
Let me tell you something. And I'll tell you the other thing. The other thing is a lot of women are so scared to jump on the line because the whole dynamic that they just go and do pastry and stuff like that. And they, then they get tagged, oh, you don't belong in the kitchen, you belong doing pastry. Like it bothers me. And, I was working at a restaurant and there was a woman pastry chef and I'm like, hey chef, come here, taste this dish I'm running as a special. And she's like, I can't believe you're calling me chef. I'm like, well, you're the pastry chef, right? I'm called, but I really do have a lot of respect for women and women in the kitchen.
And Ultra, I wanted to respond to your comment. I think the thing is that line itself when Matt said, I have no problems working with women. I think part of the problem was that like right after that, you had like a shot of like one of the women kind of like rolling her eyes. I forgot who on the show. And then like
I never took that out of the scene. I just took it like I took his statement. And I'm like,
no, I know, but I think with some people,
Corey was not happy that I went over there.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And that night I went over there, Christina grabbed me and we spoke in private, but it's not private because everything's getting filmed. And she's like, look, they don't like me. They definitely don't like you. Let's watch each other's backs.
Yeah.
You're saying this to someone from New York City that pretty much grew up in the streets and very, 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 I am very faithful and very loyal to people, especially when you say I got your back.
So here comes the backstabbing.
Well, that was further on, but I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, I really felt bad. Like they showed Petroza condoling her when she was crying, but I was actually sitting there too, telling her, oh, don't listen to them. Some people are book smart, and you're lucky that you're book smart. So I mean,
Yeah, I think that's it. I just think that when it came to the whole transference to the red team, I just think that I don't know. I just think when you made that comment, I didn't have a problem with it personally, but I think it just could be it could have like a double entendre. I think some people could just take it a certain way, as if like to say, oh, I have no problems working with women, as if like that's a different ball game, but like not a ball game that a lot of people want to play. I think some people misinterpret it like that, but like I didn't see a problem with it. And I think that's
not many people got to know Gloria Felix, who was the sous chef that season, and I really became friendly with her afterwards. Like she knows her stuff. I mean, there's women that are better than men. I mean,
yeah.
There's a Christina Wilson, perfect example, phenomenal chef.
We've had 13, about to be 14 winners of Hell's Kitchen. Sorry,
24.
like not to diss men. I
This
am
season,
one,
we
but
just
they
had
kind
5
of-
black jackets. 5 black jackets, females. Like,
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen what else was in past in the rest of the episodes, but there's women. Put it this way: there's a lot of people I'm very close to that are on other seasons. I've had Aziza in my house quite a few times.
Oh yeah, wow, that's interesting.
I'm friends with her brother. I'm Heather from her season.
Which Heather?
Heather, the one everyone calls slut and all that has nothing nice to say. Yeah,
she's fine. Like,
I love Heather to death. We did Hell's Kitchen takeovers in Gordon Ramsay's restaurant at Caesars together. I love Heather. She's one of my besties. I speak to Kim Roth all the time. I love her.
Yeah.
I speak to a lot of the women. Bobby Marshall, I love, and believe it or not, Jen from my season, I love, I learned to love, and Jen's just, I'll put it this way, very very special.
We'll have to get
As
the
far as Jen is concerned, when
Yeah.
you two switched teams at the final 6, after Lou Ross went home, was Gordon? That makes me wonder. Did Gordon Ramsay actually plan Black Jackets to final 5 originally, and they just like last minute made it final 6?
I have no idea, and everybody's saying, well, Matt didn't deserve a black jacket. Nobody knows my resume. Nobody knows my background, and I got to tell you, there's anyone from the Midwest, from Chicago?
Well, I'm in from the Midwest.
Rick Tremento, who owned True.
Yeah.
A lot of and someone else actually did an interview with me, and they pinpointed it. Matt is a professional chef. There was a lack of teamwork, which bothered me. And then there was all this other shit I wasn't expecting on the show that really just frustrated me. At Caesars, I worked in Nero's, which was a steakhouse. And on nights that there was concerts, I had to do 300 to 500 covers in a restaurant. And I was on saute by myself. There might be 2 guys down at the other end grilling steaks and stuff. I'm not a slouch in the kitchen at all.
You've heard that at least once.
Sure.
At least once by the edit. Like, we don't see
You
it.
made the best risotto of all time, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't said that to anyone else either since then. And I gotta tell you, when I go for a job, I have to do a chef test. And the owner might be there, and I had to do one for a sous chef position, and I made risotto, and the chef turned around, he goes, "Thank God, someone served me risotto, and it was good." And I'll tell you something else. Season 5 had their thing at the Brigada. We were invited to like a final finale show, and we all ate Wolfgang Puck together, and we got served risotto, and we all made a face because it was undercooked.
Wait, hold on. Did you say you ate Wolfgang Puck as in like, how did Wolfgang Puck taste?
I mean, his restaurant
so
that's
funny,
in the Brigada.
It's so funny.
Yeah, no, that.
Yeah. Cool. So the other big lore in terms of contestants, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but like, Jason Underwood, most people despise contestants, what again, I assume he was this bad, or is like there anything positive to say about this man? Like, what was your experience actually living with someone like him who just seemed awful on TV?
I actually think he had surgery.
I
mean, he had a nasty scar on his head. Look, like it was like, looks like something was cut. I'm not making fun of him or anything. I just everything was so negative about women. He couldn't keep up in the kitchen. I mean, I'd rather have Dominic back. That scared the shit out of me the first morning we woke up. But
yeah,
Jason was the person I would have loved to see gone first.
Yeah, I think everybody, because I still don't get it. Why would
Yeah, that's a good question.
Jason is a guy I hate, not just for what he says, although that is enough. But no, it's because sexist men on Hell's Kitchen is sadly not uncommon. Usually the way that I perceive it is that they're so used to working in male-only kitchens that that's all they know, which excuses nothing. It's just an explanation for what got them to this point. But you got to have a more progressive mindset than that. Like you have one, obviously. Jason was seen like one of those people. The problem is, even people like Frank from season 15, at least they could cook.
Yeah.
Jason couldn't. He was such a loser. And like
there's quite a few people that can.
This when you can't do shit in that kitchen.
Listen, there's quite a few people that couldn't cook. In all honesty,
True. Yeah.
Like I would have been happy during casting if they gave me besides a screen test. I would have been happy with getting a culinary test because you know it's something I'm used to doing and I know I could cook. You know.
For sure. Ultra have enough justified crash out. Yeah, we know how Ultra feels about Jason Underwood. That's for sure. So
I do have a question, sort of parallel to the Jason stuff, because in his elimination episode during the reward challenge, where you had to properly carve chickens, was it?
Cut chicken.
Cut chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see everybody, to include you. I mean, in the end, it didn't matter. Both him and Craig put you in a deficit.
I let me tell you something. I really feel bad for Craig. Like I have my thing going. I want to have him on my show because I had Vinny on my show, and so far, even though my show is about cruising and cruise food and vacationing and food on vacation, I want to have Craig over and do an episode for him to butcher a chicken. Listen, it's very nerve-wracking doing what we had to do. I messed up maybe one or two pieces. I mean, some of the pieces that he nitpicked on. I mean, I think with a lot of stuff, it's just to see how people are going to bounce back or what they're going to do or how they're going to handle defeat and all that other shit. So I love the challenges, but the punishments were god awful. And that pepper picking, we had the guys who actually pick peppers sitting on the rocks watching us. And not only did we fill one bin, production made us do 3 bins. And the guy goes, "Man, we usually only do 1." And I'm not a big pepper person. I really got a respect for the pepper after picking peppers because you just don't yank it off. You have to be delicate or else you'll snap the whole plant off. It's not something that's harvested like corn. But that was just so. And all they fed us, and I mean, we were hungry. All we got was a bottle of water and 2 slices of peppers in between a piece of bread, 2 pieces of bread.
You know,
that was our lunch.
You lucked out big time.
Their lunches are
when you swapped to the red team because I've mentioned this in a prior video, but that season's blue team had one of the worst track records when it came to at least reward challenges. But technically, once you got to the red team, it was all rewards until the black jacket, obviously. But oh my god, you got a good break, man.
Yeah, I mean, I especially I couldn't wait to do the taste challenge. Like I was dying to do that. And it's funny because when we went to go surfing and Gordon turned around to me, he goes, "I got your favorite soup for you." And he goes, "Now tell me what the last fucking ingredient is." And I'm like, I knew what the last ingredient was. And he goes, "What was it?" I said, "Well, I was going to say anise, but I didn't think that you would take it. I would have thought that you wanted the other thing."
Got Kim joining us. What's going on, Kim? How are you? Cool. So some people brought this up as what's going on, Kim? I'm kind of interested. I gotta know this now personally. Sounds like you had a bit of beef with Christina. It sounds like at the end game here.
Well, what happened was I almost wanted to go to Vegas. The problem was I didn't complete the dish by putting a starch on. Every chef has their way of doing things. I'm not a starch person. Like I'll have French fries. But as a kid, I went to Burger King because they had onion rings. Potatoes, mashed potatoes, not my favorite thing in the world. So I just had the asparagus on it. And, Ramsey told me I did a beautiful piece of veal. All right, so we get punished and all that stuff. And we're carrying bags of ice. And back then, my health wasn't that great. I had asthma, the migraines. I was starting to get high blood pressure at that point. I mean, I'm 35 and it's getting older. And in my first marriage with a narcissist, Oh, I hope I didn't say that. But anyway, what happened was I'm carrying bags of ice and I see a hand truck on the way out. So I'm in the kitchen. I turn around to Chef Gloria and I'm like, listen, instead of us bringing one bag at a time, let's get could we just stack it up and bring it to the edge? Yeah, sure. She said this in front of everyone. I go and touch the hand truck. What are you doing? Well, he's just said in front of everybody I could use. No, I didn't. You're fucking full of shit. Right there and then my integrity got tested. And that, unfortunately, back then at 35 was one of my kryptonites. And I really let it get to me. And then Christina started like, oh, Matt, you act like. I'm like, fuck you. You didn't even stick up for me and you heard her say it. I'm like, you're such a backstabber. Like, at that point, it pissed me off. And then she turns around, you're crazy. Well, my favorite thing is in Lethal Weapon 1, when Mel Gibson got called crazy, he did this. And I was kind of saying hello to one of my sisters by doing that, because I actually did that one time at a family dinner on a holiday when one of them called me crazy. I emulated the Mel Gibson thing.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's what I was pissed off about, but you won't get to see it because it was a production thing, and it made better drama, making it look like I was pissed about. I could care less about the fucking punishment, the one thing about the punishments, I learned from them, and it helped me grow as a chef. So it wasn't the punishment; it was the fact that I was in even Barbie turned around. Oh, Matt's going Full Metal Jacket. Matt, I'm going to give you your space. I'm like, yeah, just let me cool off, man. Stop fueling the fire, which Christina kept doing. I mean, so
yeah, you weren't exactly. I'm sure happy to see her win. I assume you're all for Petroza. I mean,
you know what? I would have. And here's the other thing you don't get to see. I begged. I said, Christina, I understand the pain that you've been through, and I showed her my arm, and I'm like, my first night on Saute ever in my life. Rookie mistake. I had oil pour all the way down my arm. The rest of the night I didn't ask, first of all, Keith Mitchell, my executive, my chef, Robert Irvine was in the kitchen, but Keith Mitchell, who is my chef, is an Army Ranger and tough as, I learned to fight through pain. That's why when I cut my fingertip off, I didn't want to leave the kitchen too. I was on an adrenaline rush, but I don't even know where I was going.
That got you just all riled up. I can tell.
No. I begged Vanessa, try to stick it out. I was begging her because I wanted to come down to her and I, in all honesty.
That'd been interesting. Yeah.
Vanessa seemed like a pretty nice chef. It's just, in the end, it was her call. And it sucked because I think there is an avenue where she could have gotten better because she had her moments and then like moments of good and moments of bad on the show. Thank God she survived against Jason because I would have rioted. I'm like, no, nothing justifies this guy staying around anymore. Again, hateful comments. Plus, he can't cook. Vanessa at least has moments of good culinary ability.
Listen, my first night I was shitting bricks because I was, I had to remember that it's not going to come down to dessert, but I hate dessert. It's not my thing.
I had to make fairly hard. Like I have no experience. I've just heard it's hard. I know this much. A lot of it can be chemistry, and I'm horrible at science. So, yeah, sounds like it'd be hard to me.
Listen, there's a lot of science in food because Bobby said one thing about me. He goes, Maddie's like the John Madden of food. He'll tell you what height to pick a tomato off the vine and stuff like that. I'm a foodie. I was a foodie before I went to culinary school. It's something, when I used to go to Chinatown in New York City, if there's Americans in there like 55 Ho Wop, I'm not going to eat there. I'm going to eat where they're eating, and I want to try what they're trying. I mean, there's a couple things I won't eat, but
yeah. In all seriousness, guys, great stuff so far. So I think the most amount of viewers we've ever had, I think, for at least this season, a long time. So
I think Matt had
look at the Nielsen ratings for my season. When they focused on me, it was the highest. When I got kicked off, it dropped.
That's the
Yeah.
point. Like literally, like season 4 is the most watched season, and I guess now that you say that, I think that's the point. Despite it being the finale, once you got kicked off, I think ratings actually got worse. So it's just
What
like it's
happened?
weird.
So
Jen.
what happened? Speaking of everybody talking about Jen coming back to season 18, like
Yeah.
what happened with you? I remember you said on Facebook somewhere that you were called for All Stars.
I was called for All Stars, and I'm on my second marriage, which 10 years now, and I have an 8-year-old child, and it's the only child I'll get to have. My wife had some complications with pregnancy, and when they called, she was about 7 months in. When they wanted to start filming, it was going to be during where she could pop at any time, and I'm like, if you guys can guarantee me to fly me back on off this jet or something, I would love to do it because I got something to prove. You guys made me look like I don't have talent or I'm like a real nut job. I mean, what's normal anyway? But I some things are more important to me. Shayna, on the other hand, left a newborn baby at home with breast milk, I guess. I just can't see doing that. And I got to tell you, being there for the birth of my son was the greatest thing in my life. If what's your greatest dish ever? My son. It brings me the most happiness.
Yeah, like W. Let's get W for Matt. That's the right way to go.
Oh man, I'm not sure.
I thought the
phrased
greatest
that way,
dish
but
ever
I
was
get
your
what you're
exotic
saying.
tartare.
And in fairness, yeah, you had your priorities in the right place.
Yeah. I mean, I'll bring anytime they call, I'll bring my 53-year-old ass back on there and hustle and get it done.
Dude, I was gonna say we've talked to Declan before. We know there's a possibility of another All-Star season. So speaking on the topic, because I know people have asked about this, and you can kind of answer both. Just
sure.
Jen in general. What was Jen like in season 4? And like, I assume you watched her in season 18 in her crash out. Like, what was it like seeing your former castmate just completely crash out in one of Hell's Kitchen's most infamous moments, almost a decade later?
All right, so Jen, I'm going to tell you right now. On the show, arrogant, young, immature. But there's a fire, there's a hunger, and there's a thirst. We're talking about a woman, actually, a woman who grew up in Chicago and got chosen to be part of a culinary program. So she got that fire burning. She had to deal with BS. Do I think a pizza should have won? No, because it wasn't $100 pizza. I think my pizza should have been up there to judge, which nobody got to hear what it was. But Jen can actually cook and throw down food. She owns a catering company. She has a company. She does well for herself, and she takes a lot of shit. As far as going back on All Stars, once again, she had the arrogance instead of being humble. There's a certain point in your life where, your food's going to speak for yourself. That was my philosophy on the show. Your food will speak for itself, and cream always rises to the top in the kitchen. Might not so much in Hell's Kitchen because there may be a lot of production stuff I don't know about where they're doing a marketing thing and they show people clip and they see who should progress, what's that type of thing. But I don't think Jen's 100% wrong for calling out a sabotage.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, that's
because I'm going to bring up a point.
Matt, be careful, Matt. You might have people turn to you, but just like I'm interested.
I'm going to bring up a point.
Okay, okay. Just warn you.
If you notice, nothing goes out of that kitchen, and last episode I think was the best example of it, of this season. Nothing goes out of that kitchen without Ramsay looking at it, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna know if it's raw or not. The day we did raw chicken wings, Matt, you fucking gave. No, I didn't, chef. You had Bobby and I blanch off chicken wings. And they were blanched for 15 minutes. The blood on this is not even coagulated, and please don't make me say that word again because I don't think I'll pronounce it the second time.
Coagulated.
Yeah, but don't you think, in all honesty, if I served raw chicken to a kid, don't you think I should have been thrown off? Because I think I should have been thrown off.
Yeah,
I swear. I don't swear because I'm Jewish and we don't swear, but I affirm to the fact that if I fucked up that bad, not only would I confess and say, yeah, I fucked up, I'd say, listen, I want to fight to be on here, but I deserve to be thrown off. I totally would say that.
Yeah.
And that's something else that Ben caught on to too, because he had me look. There's a side pass, and if you notice during my season, the wait staff don't walk right out to the dining room. They walk to the left first with certain dishes.
Yeah.
So the ones coming back from the dining room are not the one. And furthermore, the Sweet 16. And you could see in the episode, the mother walked up and said how great the fish was. Oh, wait, 45 minutes before that, Ramsey's yelling at me in service. The mother sent the fish back. You undercooked it. Well, how could I undercooked it and I even apologized to the woman that I had to make a second piece, and she looked dazzled. And that's when Ramsey said, "Fuck off, you." So you tell me if my fish was undercooked or not.
I believe
it's probably something like I've heard stories of stuff like that happening on Hell's Kitchen. I've heard something about like Colleen in season 5. Like there's a mistake they show her early on where she mistakenly put sugar into a risotto instead of salt. I think that might have been production swapping around what containers or something like that. It is still on her for not tasting, but I don't put it past production to do any of that, to not do any of that stuff.
That's why I say to everyone out there, listen, it's funny to make fun of everybody on the show. People crack and say shit about me. Listen, they made fun of me on the talk, and what's his name? Sherrod Smalls did a bit on me on his VH1 show, and I met him, and he goes, "Dude, I'm like, dude, I loved it. It made me laugh."
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is very hurtful. Someone said I had autism, and I think it's disgusting because, my son's in school with a bunch of kids that have autism and stuff, and it's something not to joke around about, or even if somebody is on the spectrum or something, at least they're trying to do something with their lives. And I got to say, everybody, you're watching an edited show. There's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes that we don't even know. And keep in mind, if you watch the show in England, that version is very boring. They need this. It's all for the ratings and stuff. The show would be pretty boring if it was just us cooking and Ramsey didn't fly off and throw food, and people didn't say stupid shit, and people didn't
Young Guns.
Yeah. Yeah, but listen, they take everything away from us. I got out there on a Wednesday, and I got out there before the rest of the cast. I was in a hotel room. I was lucky. I got to see a bit of LA. They had someone named Baby Shaq who was in the production team take me around. I got to have Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles and all this other stuff. And they go through all your stuff. They do what's called Greeking, so that way they don't see it's Colgate. That there's no advertising things. They take all your paper, your pens, the day before you actually go on set, they take your phone. You got no radio, no television, nothing at all. You're deprived of everything. So everybody's up each other's ass. I mean, it's bad enough we had to smell Petros's ass because that guy took the worst shits that you would ever want to smell in your life.
The first thing,
peace.
The first thing Matt says about Petros is that. I love it. That's how it should be.
But Matt, I gotta ask another question. We talked about you getting a call back for All Stars. Did you get a call back for season 18 too, or no?
I think they did all the calling and the casting during the initial call.
I see.
So they did 2 seasons in one shot because they pretty much, from what I understand, they filmed it back to back.
Yeah,
and believe me, I would have loved to go back on it because a lot of people I'm friends with were actually on the show, so probably would have been a lot more better and professional atmosphere.
Yeah, it'd been great to see you as a company.
Is it okay if I make a blanket statement based off of something?
Sure.
It's regarding the accusations that you have about being autistic. Like, can people stop with? I mean, I know that it can be a serious disorder that people have to go through in their lives, but we are part of a chat where I'm pretty sure all of us have at least been speculate on being autistic. I don't know if any of us are. I forget personally. I've been asked about it. I've never been tested, so I have no idea. But if I am autistic, I would wear it like a badge of honor because I do not care. It is not something that makes any single person worse for who they are. Like, if it makes life difficult, then I apologize. But at the same time, that is something that I would help a person go through in their life. It's not anything to discount them. You have value no matter what you suffer from as a person. So if you've been getting that kind of shit, Matt, shame on anybody who's trying to do that.
I get a lot of shit. I mean, and it's because people don't understand what I was trying to do. I mean, to a lot of people, once they hear about the tartar thing, it makes sense. I mean, Gordon even said, "Oh, eat mascarpone cheese." Now, I got to be a sick fuck to put mascarpone cheese in a tartar because that was one ingredient that wasn't in it and got spliced. You could tell that it got spliced into it. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, some people, the shit that they say is really cruel.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna follow up what Ultra said. Like, I remember that time. I mean, I don't know if they still say that to Matt. If they do, I'm sorry about that.
No.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I remember it was like the 2010s, and back in the that's right. Like back, in the early 2010s, you had the R word that was thrown around every now and then, and I feel like at one point people just said like, okay, can we stop saying the R word? It's a slur. And I feel like that kind of went away slowly, but the problem is it got replaced by autistic, and people started to use that as an insult. I'm like, that's just more specific. And I'm like, in a way, like, it's like you're trying to sacrifice one group for the rest of the groups. And I'm like, why? And
why cannibalize like that? I just don't understand it. Like,
it's... you know what it is too, and I hate feeding into it because I know it's that. And for you guys also, for doing the YouTube thing and being content creators, everybody feels like they're part of your life now, and that they could criticize, and they want to be like, social media is just, everything is just so disgusting what people say about each other.
Trust me, man. I've realized that. Trust me.
We've all been down that rabbit hole somewhere, and sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it gets out of control because people can overreact about anything. I choose to take it on a case-by-case basis personally, but I do understand the qualm that people can have with social media, because I recently got off Twitter because I am not standing behind that site anymore for
that's about time.
Reasons.
Yeah.
It's like my Facebook page is private, but I have another page that I use because I started having over 3,000 people, and I got people from India and all over Italy, and everybody asking to come work for me, and I want to work. Can you fly me? Can you do this? And I'm like, and then I was getting death. I got a death threat from someone because I told Ramsey, go fucking bother Petroza. Like, I was joking around with the guy because it was like I didn't want to be on Jed's team at that point. I mean, and then furthermore, it's like, hey, Maddie, I'm doing your lobster risotto. And the whole thing with the lobster risotto, that was from when we had to do our own menu. And 3 of the items on that fucking menu were mine. And Ramsey had the lobster risotto. And he goes, whose is this? And I go, mine. He turned around and he goes, you cunt. You had to feed me that raw shit. Meanwhile, this is what you should have gave me the first fucking day. And I'm like, well, save the best for later on. But, and Christina's dish that she picked, all right, I was sweating, but not sweating enough to make a fucking dish salty, nor was I dripping into that bad. And you guys could contact my personal trainer. I don't even sweat that much in the goddamn gym. She used 2 different types of cheese that were the saltiest goddamn cheeses from Italy, and he called her out for it in that episode.
For sure. Nice. So we gotta know. I know you kind of touched on Petroza. So apparently that's some big lore with his big shits. That's so. Anything else you gotta say? That's the thing. It's kind of because it's an interesting situation where like most people love Lou Ross, Bobby, and Petroza, but again, you're kind of not really against them. I mean, I don't know. Kind of give me your thoughts on the big 3 of that season.
I love Bobby. Bobby's my buddy, my brother. I got nothing bad to say about Bobby. Are we 2 different chefs? Yeah. I mean, I'm a little more, and I toned down what I did because we could talk about Gordon's last words to me at the very end.
Sure.
But he's a different type of chef, a different type of caliber. You know, I did more foo stuff, you know, using tweezers and putting stuff on plates and finesse. And you know, Bobby's more steak and stuff, you know, like right in your face type of food. You know, I have a respect for Ben. Petroza, I don't hate Petroza. Petroza said some nasty shit about me, especially called me. Well, no, you could see it in the episode. He called me a dingling. Matt, you know, Matt's this, Matt, you know. Petroza wasn't really the nicest guy in the world. I know more about his private shit, which I'm not, you know, he's not here to defend himself, and I'm not going to talk about his private stuff. But, you know, I hate that he passed away.
Yeah,
I like the guy. I think I liked. The execution wasn't great, but I guarantee you that Helen in the pumpkin thing probably would have worked if the execution was good. His thing was he was sloppy and not organized, and that's the biggest reason why he didn't win.
Yeah.
The other thing was Petroza was ready to fucking quit because he could not memorize the goddamn desserts.
I've always said that, you know, about
and
why
he was out there crying. He couldn't memorize the desserts and the dishes. And Bobby is the one that was really, he put that tough guy on. But I'll tell you, Bobby had more heart than Petroza. And more of a gentleman than Petroza.
That's
I can see that argument. I mean, I still, based on what we're showing, kind of like Petroza more, and I won't deny that was an especially bad service for Petroza.
It was.
Has been bad.
But Ben also told him, "Don't pick Jen, pick Matt." They all said it to him.
Yeah, that's true.
But here's the thing: as bad as Petroza was in that service, it's remarkable that on your team, I still thought Jason did as bad in that service, just on a level of like attitude and what he was saying up. And it's by both of their, by the grace of God, I'd say that Sharon on the other team was technically bad than both of them, but worse than both of them. I mean,
Sharon was good. I never got to work with Sharon. I never got to work with Sharon, but I was over dying laughing because Ramsey would say shit, and you could hear him in the blue kitchen, and the stuff that he says. Listen, I grew up in New York, and I grew up with diversity, where the only time we judged each other is when we were joking with each other and busting each other's balls, because I really don't have a hateful bone in my body. Yeah. It was just a lot of ball busting.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about the blue team in the early phase of that season. There was one really unique element to it, and that was Ramsey just recurringly asking people, "What's on the menu tonight? What's on the menu tonight?" And half the time the guys fucked up.
You see, the whole thing is they don't want you to be successful that first night. They made us look like we were sleeping. We were studying the menu. We were studying that book just as long as the girls were that night.
Yeah,
I think the reason they would do that is, again, to push the narrative, because y'all did still lose service. So that probably was just to make your team look worse. Yeah, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying that's just probably what happened.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I always say is if people can't get that's editing, I don't know what to tell them. Like, people honestly, that's the thing. People honestly believe that you guys are sleeping, and like, and I'm not gonna study the menu tonight. Like, yeah, I'm all for getting good sleep, dude. But even I'm not gonna believe that. Like,
most people, I think, take the edit too much at face value. Like, there are some things that I will say aren't taken out of context on the show. Like, no, this and this most definitely did happen. But a lot of it, even I'm like, no, really read between the lines on a few things. And I wasn't there for any season. I can only go off of the edit on a few things. But there's times I'll look at the show and be like, how does this or this or this make sense for what's going on? And we've had a few interviews recently where things were brought to light to us where I'm like, that makes a lot more sense than what we were actually shown. But would it have been as good television? No. So, of course, they're going to show the other version.
Right, yeah. And that just, if people can't get that, I don't know what to tell them.
Like when you mentioned Heather, the one that's called a slut, which she mentioned to us.
Perfect example.
That is such bullshit. Like every time I saw him, like, no, it's kind of clear she had no clue what Andrew was doing.
She absolutely
had no.
First of all, when you sign a contract, there could be no swapping of any type of fluid or any type of thing, which means spit too. So, you know, they show maybe a show. Listen, the whole time Lou Ross was trying to hook up with Corey too. So I mean, that was just yeah.
I think I did see that. Yeah, which I half ship it. Like I don't know, I can see it working. But hey, whatever they want, whatever they want.
I mean, Lou Ross had a lot of energy, and you know, we had some good times together on the show and some few laughs and stuff like that. And we used to talk a lot, not so much anymore.
Should he have done the black jacket over Jen, in your opinion?
Lou Ross?
Maybe I would say over Corey.
Okay. Corey, yeah.
Corey, absolutely. Corey's a photographer or something now. She's not even in culinary.
Oh wow.
I mean, I had words with Corey after the show, but then we talked after on Facebook once. But like I turned around to Corey. I'm like, all right, stop the drama now. We're not on fucking camera anymore. Like this is like after we just got done filming at 3:00 in the morning, the finale. Corey was probably and Rosie. As much as I love Rosie could cook, but Rosie couldn't really hang type, you know what I'm saying? Like creativity wise.
We pretty much talked about like every show. I mean, is there any other?
If I remember correctly, initially I think it was Vanessa who was the leader of the red team in the first episode, and then Roseanne got that title taken away from her. Roseanne and Lou Ross, for that matter, were both chefs who definitely started out strong, but petered out a couple episodes in and just kind of never gained that momentum back.
Lou Ross probably does some cool food, but I mean, in all honesty, he was show. Like, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. He has the energy and stuff like that, and he could cook. Never really saw much creativity because the $100 pizza thing that Ramsey had us do, I actually made a sauce using tomatillos. Sorry. And I took squash blossom flowers. I mixed uni in with it and stuffed them. The only thing I did was bake it in the oven. I should have deep fried it and then put it on the pizza. And Ramsey was pissed because mine was a $100 pizza and it was creative and it was good. Lou Ross just did a plain pizza with tomato sauce on it. So, but he was upset because no one tasted it, and you know he was getting picked. And I called it. I said, "Listen, Ben," I said, "Put me on the red." I said to Ramsey, "Put me on the red team, and you'll see what they're doing, and then they go after Lou Ross next." And boom.
Yeah, no, like.
You called it. You did call it.
It's crazy how much you called it. It really was fascinating.
Because I'm from New York. You're not going to pull shim sham over me. You know, you can't pull. It's hard to pull wool over my eyes. I've dealt with so many con people in my lifetime that, you know, I grew up in Staten Island, and you know, a bunch of my friend, one of my friends had the show on MSNBC, Hustler. You know, the Hustlers from Staten Island, but we're hustlers in New York City.
Sure.
Can I ask, by the way, I mean, you were on the team when this was going on, but upon Ben's elimination, when he tried getting a team, let's all just nominate ourselves so Gordon Ramsay has to break the time. Like, I'm sorry, who is buying this? That is one of the dumbest things that any chef could do. Now, granted, Petroza did it, and everyone loves him for it, and I don't.
Well, that's the thing. Petroza was following his goddamn lead, and he got the generosity thing. But
I don't think Petroza was in any danger anyway, so
no.
It wouldn't have mattered too much. Unless he outright said, "Chef, I don't believe in myself. I gotta quit." That's not what he said. He said, "I just think everyone else did fine too. I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus." Like that's different than what I think Ben was trying to propose. But yeah, I wouldn't have fallen for that. I would have been like, "Screw you! I'm nominating you. You got the most crap from Gordon Ramsay that night, Ben."
For sure.
Which he did, frankly.
Oh, I was loving it because it was like.
Oh yeah, we saw that.
We saw that.
No, I mean you're fucking. You know, you want to do all those attacks. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I should have just kept my head and been
No,
No,
what you did was
just
perfect.
about it, but no, it was the right moment, the right time to fucking gloat.
It was. I mean, dude, that's what makes your episode that episode specifically so iconic. Within not just the season, the series, like the downfall of Ben and your rise. That's so iconic.
Oh yeah. When you rewatched the season, how did you feel when Ben volunteered to go outside with Scott during a certain punishment? It turns out he has to shovel horse shit or something.
I was pissed because I didn't get chosen to go be a waiter outside or cook an appetizer. So all of a sudden they picked Ben for something. I have no idea what the fuck it's for. And I was like, God, I don't get picked for shit around here. And then Ben comes back and told us what we had to do. I was dying. The best was when I helped the red team win a competition and we got massages and he had to hand us iced tea.
I have a question
Yeah.
because of something that the edit showed us regarding the finale when you were on Christina's team.
Yeah.
The edit shows that she was really buttering you up a little bit. Like that's what the edit is framing as, at least.
Yeah.
Like saying like you're really great at this and yada yada yada, and you liking it. And on an editing level, I love watching that because I'm just like, okay, that could be one of those moves that kind of clinched her to win because it shows that you're respecting her more. Like, is that actually how that happened, or was anything else?
Oh yeah. She sat down with me, and she trying to butter me up, and I'm like, and I'm not saying anything to her, like, yeah, whatever, you fucking backstabbed me, And then people criticize me because I kind of, her and Corey came out of the hot tub. First of all, I'm a married man and you're trying to entice me to go into the hot tub with you. Ben's a married man, you're trying to go in the hot tub. And I don't exactly like skinny women. I mean, I like full-bodied women. I like, and them two turned around. I'm like, you trying to get me in the hot tub. You should be ashamed of yourselves for being that young and having all that cellulite on your ass. I mean, you want to talk shit to me, I'm giving it back to you.
I'm not sure I put it that way, but I do see a little bit of a precedent with that. Like, they were single, I assume, right?
I have no idea.
Well, whether they were or not, if they know
Corey had a
that
boyfriend,
you're married and take him, please don't try. Like, even on a strategic level, that is probably going against it. I'm not saying it makes them bad. Maybe they meant it in a joking way. I wasn't there. You were. I can only speculate, but.
Well, you've seen they're like, Jason. Oh, Matt's a crybaby. Yeah, Matt's a crybaby because he's fucking pissed, and that's just how I was back then.
And yeah, big body women, like, don't shame them. Don't shame anybody of any size like that. That's stupid.
No, I made that comment because I know I also listen. I went to college for part-time. I was working at Bear Stearns, and Wolf of Wall Street happened to be the client because I worked in back office correspondence clearance, but I actually went to Marymount Manhattan College and I went for business management and economics. I was nowhere near culinary. Unfortunately, it was also a school that was very big on acting, dance, and the arts. So I had to either take acting or dancing. I freaking hate dancing. It's not my thing. I took acting because I figured it probably helped me with public speaking. God, did I know that, like, it's going to help me during my casting call, like, one day.
I could see, yeah.
I kind of had to play a version of myself. Like when they asked me, why do you want to be on Hell's Kitchen? And I got to sit there because I was number 75 and the twins were doing the casting call. And I don't think you guys ever got inside of the casting, but I was sitting there. One of the twins is calling out the numbers. I'm like, are you okay? She goes, no, my throat's sore. I'm like, do you want me to call the numbers? So I started calling the numbers and I'm hearing the questions she asks. And I start hearing call back and I'm like, okay, call back means you're not getting called back. Why do you want to be on Hell's Kitchen? I'm hearing people say, oh, I'm better than Gordon Ramsay. Got to me. So then it gets to 75. I'm like 75. Come on, asshole. Oh, that's me. But I was mocking someone. Someone else looked like Captain Stubing for the Love Boat. I'm like, you're not putting him on Hell's Kitchen? You know who that is? She goes, who? I said, that was Captain Stubing. Like I was warming her up. I was making her laugh, right?
Yeah.
I sat down with her. She's like, Matt, tell me you're a great fucking chef. And I'm like, I'm only as good as my last meal. She's like, just tell me. I'm like, I'm honestly telling you, I'm only as good as my last meal. I'm like, all right, I'm a great fucking chef. She's like, okay, why do you want to be on Hell's Kitchen? I'm like, well, I just got married a few months ago, and I need someone else to yell at me besides my wife.
I've seen that quote somewhere.
Those are very.
I know. I remember that quote from somewhere.
There, I gotta give you that one.
Then it came time for screen testing, and this is like the warm up to like. So she's asking me quite. First of all, it was Bobby and I downstairs, and they were about to send Bobby back to Buffalo and me back to Philly, South Jersey, Philly area, and I'm like, I can't come back here tomorrow. I got to go to work, and so they're like, all right, Bobby and you are the last two. She's one point she asked, did you ever have sex in the kitchen? And I'm like looking at her, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, of course. Who hasn't had sex in their own kitchen? I said, except I didn't do it in my kitchen. I did it in Caesar's, and another kitchen was closed that night because they had brunch in the morning, and it was a 19-year-old cook, and she was on the rig. She goes, what? I go, she was fucking Bloody Mary, and I didn't give a shit.
Oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, they were they were talking to me about that when I flew out to LA too. But
I can see why you got. I always say this. You can tell when talking to people, like of all the people I've got, it's very rarely I'm like, how did they get cast? I can see why you got cast for a reality TV show. But again,
listen, if you go and look, Kent Weed says it point blank. There is only one Matt, and pretty much propped it up that the reason why they chose me.
There it is. That's what I'm saying.
You are a very unique individual from that
100%.
show.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will place you in per the edit, the donkey category.
Yeah.
But let's be fair, the donkeys are all actually pretty different personalities. Like you're right when you said that they have a very similar formula for who they pick on the seasons, which is not a Hell's Kitchen exclusive thing. Every reality show has that format of picking an alpha bro or the evil mom or the hot young person or something like that. Happens every time. It's just how things work because it's a formula that's proven successful over the years. But even then, I don't know exactly where I would slot you in on any of those archetypes, and I kind of love
exactly.
That.
Yeah, no,
and I do mean that as an absolute compliment. I like that kind of uniqueness.
I know there's people in the comments saying you should be on Survivor or Traders, and that's what I'm saying.
I was going to ask you, Matt. Do you think
it's bad enough that I have to push myself to watch not Survivor, but I watched Big Brother with my wife, and I got to tell you, a couple times I had to watch it inebriated to try to get the gist of the show. I still don't understand it. I found it amusing. It still makes no sense. Listen, I in all honesty, I would have loved to do Top Chef. And the reason, in all honesty, the reason why I didn't do Top Chef is when I did my internship, I was supposed to do it at John George's Vong, which wasn't going to pay me. And unfortunately, with a Sally Mae loan for culinary school, I had to work full time and go to culinary school full time. And I should have went to Vong. Drew Airport had a restaurant called Icon. One of my friends was the sous chef there, and someone in my first restaurant became my friend and was a mentor. He's like, "We'll pay you $12 an hour to do your internship here," and I wound up doing it there. And it's like one of the mistakes I made in my life going there, doing that. But where was I going with that? I forgot. Sorry, I had a mini stroke a few years ago, so I got a little bit cognitive.
You seem pretty good now. So if you've been recovering from that, then
at
least you
didn't have Fetterman's doing a lot better job than me. But
at least you didn't have 4 strokes by the time you were 22. You know what I mean? That's
I mean, I have a different background than everyone else. I mean, I started out on Wall Street. I did finance. I sold life insurance. After 9/11, there was no jobs in New York City, and I wound up moving to Atlantic City to work. But I had to sell cars for a little bit, and then after my divorce was pretty rough, and I had to sell cars. But I did marketing. I've done public relations before becoming a chef. I have a very diverse background. I'm not an idiot. I'm not stupid by any means, and I care less what It's a shame with how I was portrayed on the show. And part of it is my fault because I had you kind of figured that you have to play something, or else you're not going to survive on the show either, because it's not just about the food.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
I feel like if I got cast and I was given like an idiot role, I would just lean in as much.
That's the thing, bro. I mean,
have fun with it on your own end.
Exactly. All right, guys. So thank you. It's been an amazing stream so far. We'll wrap up some questions for Matt here. They've been asking, for some reason, the chat really wants to know about the sushi pizza, because that was weird. So I don't even remember honestly what that was. So
I remember it was his idea for a pizza when they were doing the pizza challenge.
I'm from New York City. 16-year-old girls go out and eat sushi. The girls I grew up with ate food. I mean, sushi pizza is just on a wonton, pretty much on a wonton crisp. It's something I did there. Lo and behold, I didn't know that this was a girl that's going to be on there that doesn't like this, doesn't like that. So it kind of seems out of the realm. But I've been to Sweet 16s where there was funky ass stuff like lamb lollipops and stuff like that. And, depending on who's throwing the thing. If I went to an Italian Sweet 16, there's raw seafood, fried calamari, and everything. It's nothing I did was weird or out. Nothing I did is nothing I haven't done in any restaurants or haven't created.
for sure.
There are more.
And I'm gonna go even further with this. Before I moved down to Atlantic City, Harrah's was an option, and so was Caesar's. I went to Caesar's. I did a cooking demo for Robert Irvine, and this is before anybody knew who Robert Irvine was. And I did a coffee crusted lamb, which he never saw or heard of and thought it was weird. But meanwhile, it's now in his cookbook. Not that I'm bitter about it, but because I love Robert and I wouldn't be where I am today without him. He offered me $9 an hour, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm not moving down from New York City for $9 an hour. Harrah's offered me more money. But I didn't like what Harrah's was doing with me. My father didn't, and he interjected because he knew people there too. So I went and did a cooking demo for Robert again. And he goes, you're not ready to be a sous chef yet, but you're very talented, and I could use you, but I'm going to pay you like I pay the sous chefs. Robert was giving me $22 an hour back in 2002, and keep in mind it was a union job, so there was scale that he was supposed to pay me. I was getting paid more than relief cooks, people that worked for 20 years. So I can't be that much of a bad person or suck as a cook or a chef for Robert to pay me. Robert did pull me out at one point, and because I was in the middle and I'm scooping potatoes and cream spinach inside, and it was just boring. And he put me in one of the kitchens so I could learn to be, saute, because it was the only thing I didn't know how to do. Did that, and he had me start creating some dishes in Nero's. And one of the things I did was a frisee salad with a poached egg, and I did a gelée, which I took gelatin. I took onion soup and made a consommé and did gelatin, and the poached egg was in it. Put it on top of the frisee and did a warm bacon dressing. Now, Robert popped about 5 or 6 of the eggs open to see if I perfectly poached it. I said, yeah, well, when you live in New York City and you're doing brunch and you have to do 250 poached eggs, and you don't get very good at it. But Robert had me create a lot of stuff. When the Food Network started doing Matt, with his look, like Robert has a look where it looks like he's smelling shit. Like it's like,
yeah,
Matt, make me that brilliant basil oil. I'm not an idiot, and I'm going to tell you, my very last words with Gordon was, Matt, you're a brilliant chef. I loved having you on the show. Take the madman out of your food. Now, I didn't know what he meant by that. And then one day I'm looking in my library because I have tons of books, and I see something, and I never saw Michel Richard's last name spelled out. But I'm thinking the chef's name is Michael Richards until I looked in the book and I see, oh man, this is Michel Richard. I'm looking through his book, but there was something that caught my eye. It was a salmon that he cut and had it stuffed with perfectly poached, blanched asparagus. And there was only four components to the dish. So what he was telling me, and tries to tell everyone else, you don't need to put 100 different things on your plate to make a plate. And if you could tell, in tonight's episode, she had too much going with the one dish.
Yeah, and we have seen that with people like Cara Marie in her first challenges, like just a few too many things on the plate, so it just got kind of busy. Yeah, I do see that as a more common critique. Like, it's just, I guess it can sometimes work. Like, there was a pizza that was made in season 12 by Anton and Richard that Wolfgang Puck loved, but every Air pizza was kind of at best. So maybe that sort of set the bar low. But like, then it works. But it does sound like one of those things that it only works ever so often.
All righty. So, Matt, this has been a really, really fun questions. Let me go through these final. I know we kind of went through these super chats. Let me see if there's any specific questions for you. But to end the night, this was interesting. I don't know if you like, hey Matt, it's Marie, flash from the way in the past, but where's my jacket? I didn't really understand that. I don't know if you get that or.
I like to know too, because during my divorce and moving out, I don't know what the hell happened to my jacket. The only thing I have is the shirt from the photo shoot after I cut my fingertip off. Oh, do you guys want to hear that story real quick?
Sure.
All right, so I have a backstroke cutting. Like, if you put your knife, I teach people with using a knife the same way I was taught. So I was cutting the pancetta, and I wound up having so much fat on me from the pancetta that my finger slipped out, and the knife was so sharp, I went through it. I didn't even feel it until I looked down and I see blood about 30 seconds later. I put gloves on. I'm still bleeding. I cut the tip right, and I just missed the bone by not even an inch. Ramsey finally gets me out of the kitchen like 10, 15 minutes later. And he's out there with me, and he looks to see the finger, and he goes to me, he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "How could you be so fucking calm?" I'm like, "Chef, I'm Jewish. God got that tip. This is the only, and since you're the god of Hell's Kitchen, this is the only tip I got for you." He slams his hand down on his thing. "You're a fucking maniac. I don't know how you're so calm and make jokes about this." Eventually, I don't know what the fuck happened to the fingertip either.
Let's hope it didn't get put in that pen check, because I think I remember.
But I kind of took the bullet on that too, because one, we would have lost because Rosie picked the mozzarella, and I wound up putting it on my dish, even though it didn't go, because I had to incorporate it, because you see the blue team lost because they were missing something.
And yeah, they were gonna try and say, "No, we didn't." I'm like, y'all, he's
and then Jen, I think, overheard me, and she copied the same exact quill I was doing. Furthermore, Gordon turns around, "You didn't cut the kidneys out." You had Corey do my dish. That goes to show whatever was inside the thing that he said made it bitter. I just think that I'm just happy we got the win, because that photo shoot was awesome to be part of. And if you ever see, I had to keep my hand tucked behind the car door.
You see, I've made 2 videos about injuries in Hell's Kitchen, one of them being injury comebacks and injury crybabies, which I mean this with all due respect because of the migraine thing. I put you in the crybabies one.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do make it clear, with the exception of my number 1 pick, which was a tie between Jared season 17, Gia season 16. These are not actual injuries that I can outright say were fakes, because they were all internal. Like, I can't really tell. Like Jared and Gia, they were literally trying to say we got cut, and you can clearly see they weren't. So that's
Jared now knows what it's like to be cut.
Like it was bigger than it was made out to be, but I do try to make it clear it might have happened. I wasn't there, and not these people. But for injury comebacks, you losing the tip of a finger and just brushing it off, I did praise 2 other chefs for that exact same thing. So you would get in that exact same camp.
I mean, like I said, the migraine, I wasn't faking that, because that's the last thing I want to do. And the reason why I would never fake a migraine is because I really suffer from them, and I'm not the type of person that's gonna cry wolf with a migraine. If it was a migraine that was mild, where I wasn't having aura, or I could feel my fingertips, yeah, I work through those all the time. It was actually one of a more severe one. And I used to get migraines that was so bad as a kid. The first few years that I got them, they used to give me a spinal tap just to relieve the pressure.
All right. Yo, Matt, I got to say, this is probably, like I said, it's probably our most watched stream for that, like a lot of buzz, a lot of fun lore, especially given that season 4 has been almost 20 years ago. Thank you so much for joining. This is kind of a second thing for the chat who doesn't know. I mean, I think some of the chat knows. I was supposed to have some other people on, and you were able to come on. So it's been so fun. Any other final things you'd like to say for us or the chat before you head out tonight?
No, guys, your content's amazing. And I'm happy. All of a sudden, I noticed a spam thing in my messenger, and I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what the hell's this? And I'm reading it, I'm like, wait, my wife put a comment under my thing on your one video where it's like I'm retorting people's things. I'm like, here's the truth of it. Like, I have no reason to bullshit. Listen.
Oh man!
Did I come off as an asshole at certain points? Yeah, but the reason why I was a cry is because I'm very professional. Do I joke around in the kitchen? Yeah, I believe in my kitchen. I like to have fun. You know, during dinner service, you got to put your head down. But when you're prepping and all that other shit, I want to have a good laugh. I want to do a kooky shit. I mean. The place I was working at the Radisson Hotel in a restaurant and when I was doing Hell's Kitchen, and when I came back, Prince before I left, Prince came on, Darling Nikki, and some of my cooks were having a bad day. So I went on the floor and I'm playing air guitar, crawling around the floor, and the general manager of the hotel come in and he's like, young man, we need to go take one of my walks and we need to talk about And I explained to him, I'm like, look, this is a very stressful job. I don't do coke. I worked on Wall Street. I don't do coke. I don't drink. I don't have an alcohol problem. And this is my way of venting and I like having fun. And I believe cooking is fun. I did it as a hobby, and the hobby turned into a profession.
And it turned into be one of the best characters in Hell's Kitchen history and one of our best past contestants we've had on our stream. Matt, thank you so much for coming.
Anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You have a good night, my man.
If you want to come on my show, even though most of it's me cooking, but anytime you want to appear on Cruising with Chef Matt, go more than
guys. I gotta do it now. We got a plan for that. Me, Flynn Masters on Matt's channel. We got a plan for that. My God. Thank you so much again, man. You have a
Thanks,
good night.
guys. You too.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Night.
All righty. So let's get on into this
was
episode.
fun.
Wait, let's do the first half of the popularity.
I think Jen, we just gotta stay that for next week. I'm sorry.
Let's get going.
It's been a long night. I'm sure you guys are all gonna probably leave now and be like, oh, there's no point with Matt's gone. But we actually did have an episode to talk about tonight. So yeah, let's get on into it. There's not much. Gumball, you haven't said anything for 90 minutes. You could have asked him a question, Gumball. I know you watched this season, so I mean, what's your thought before we talk? What's your thoughts on Matt? Do you remember him?
Yeah, I remember him being again one of the bigger characters and stuff. Again, he was a lot of fun on this season. I think I had him relatively low on my chef ranking compared to his placement. I mean, I know it's something that people talk about is him being being seen as one of the more interesting black jackets.
For sure. All right, so let's get on into this episode because I cannot get over how weird the scheduling. We had our 2-part last week, but part one episode this week of part 1 of the finale. Very, very odd. Yeah, so not really much to say. Obviously, the main component was the final 3 tasting. I did gotta say it was kind of funny. Well, we've had John Ultra. I remember. Was this the same person? I think her name was Keisha. Whatever. What has it been Chef John from season 11 the past 3 seasons that help people with the menu, or was it someone different last year? I can't remember.
I forget exactly who all it is because I haven't really kept track of these helper sous chefs since I don't think they play the biggest factor in a lot of things. But it has usually been John. I'm pretty sure. And I don't think I recognize who this person was. I'm sure, if Gordon Ramsay vets them, then that's all that matters.
I was gonna say she looked familiar.
DM I have it because I'm not gonna lie. up until I did a recent binge of all the finales for the ranking that you're doing next week, I wasn't really there's a lot of details about those finales that I really just wasn't keeping tabs on because I'm one of those people who gets a tiny bit tired once you get to the Black Jacket stage because I feel like most of the best highlights are just over and done with. Not all the time, and you do get something usually, but most people kind of like the build up to the Black Jackets before more than the actual Black Jackets, I think.
For sure. And like I said, yeah, Ultra doing that research. So like I said, guys, I might even be this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll still have to talk about it. But yeah, guys, be on the lookout before the finale next week. We're going to be ranking all 23 finales in Hell's Kitchen history. So yeah, I'll post that link here in a second for you guys to vote.
Incidentally, that is how I remembered when I said that Christina was like buttering up Matt, and I think that might have helped her get the win. That's how I remembered that because it wasn't until the rewatch I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. Okay, good move, Christina. Good move.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's the thing. I'm interested to see how these finales go. Like those small little things are what makes it stand out. So, yeah, let's go into this episode. We'll just get right. We had the I mean, does anyone have anything to say about the families or anything? I was actually taking a shower. I was taking the YouTuber. Taking a shower time. So, is anyone? Did I miss anything?
Go ahead.
No, Gumbo talk.
Gumbo talk.
I mean, the only real highlight was like the fact that they tried to make like whole like, oh, will Sydney's parents show up or will Sydney's family show up? They tried like this is a really weird like. I mean, we're all episodes.
I find it funny that Gumball seems a bit intrigued by that because I was just sitting there like, we know they showed up. We know they showed up. The only surprise is that they came from behind.
This isn't a Jenna Lewis from Survivor Borneo situation of like, yeah, no one can, or a Micah from MasterChef season 10 thing either. It's like,
oh yeah,
come on, like those actually were like unprecedented. This though, I'm like, we have not gotten any content that implies that Sydney has a bad for their fans.
Micah for MasterChef is like, it's so weird because it's like
let Gumbo talk.
Sorry.
But no, it's like, I mean, it's obviously it's like, yeah, like the show is like really weird. Like they'll find like anything and everything, like anything to like make something feel like more dramatic and suspenseful than what it really is. But this episode, I feel like this episode took it to another level. That family visit, it's like they made it a whole like, oh, will Sydney's family not show up as like a cliffhanger to go into commercial? I found that funny, but
dude,
really it's like the family visit was just again boring. Like really, the first half of this episode was like not very eventful. Like aside from that.
That's the thing about these two-parters. Like they're that desperate for content to drag it out. They do something like that, just like bro.
Honestly, Micah from season 10 of MasterChef. I just gotta say quickly, I always found a narrative, is the narrative of that season surrounding Micah. I always found it weird because it's like, we think of sad reasons why parents reject their kids or whatever, but it's like with Micah's case, oh, they rejected him because he wanted to be a chef. Okay, odd,
Yeah, I whatever. I need a. All right, cool. So that brought us into the taste of the ever so scary Final 3 challenge. Gumbo, I'll go back to you here. Did you think, and chat, let me ask you this. I was actually surprised. If you guys see my, I even made a joke about it for my, who people thought I was going to win this season. Only like 70%, as like a joke, I put like Jada, like Ellie, Sydney, and then like, well, dude, isn't obvious. And so like in total, like 70% voted for the Jada and like the joke one. But Ultra, a lot of people there's some people are behind Ellie and apparently we're behind Sydney. Were you surprised by that, or just, if you read the comments, a lot of people are seeing it.
Like for the sake of it being a little obvious that Jada would make the finale, I think it makes enough sense. I personally was getting what's the word? An air, I guess, that Ellie would make the finals just because they made her family visit seem a little more emotionally driven, I think, compared to the others. And I think that is saying something, but I'm not sure what it is. I mean, like maybe it is the fact that her father came like as soon as the challenge was about to start, like stuff like that. I think really sold me that I think she's making the finals, which granted would probably be a new best for first signature dish tasted in a season, because I'm still on that bandwagon of we've never had a winner who's done that. If Ellie does it, I will be pleasantly surprised and freaking pissed that in the draft when it came to her versus Cat, I picked Cat just for that curse. Like,
Oh man.
I
It's
will
the first
be
time
like,
you do that in a
what?
draft,
It was
and
in my
time it
draft.
should
I
they
just
count the
missed
most.
it. I was
Well,
like,
so we'll get into it. Let's just talk about it. First round, Jada 10, Ellie 9, Sydney 8. So like we knew what was going to happen right then and there, right? Jada 9, Ellie 8. It was actually not a very good tasting. Oh, not very good, but like, comparing to other past final 3 tastings. Third round, Jada 8, Ellie 9, Sydney 9. Fourth round, Jada 8, Ellie 9, Sydney 8. So, and fifth round, Sydney got a 9. So all Jada needed and Ellie was an 8 to advance. Both of them got a 9. And our final 2 is Jada and Ellie. We'll get to Jada and Ellie in a second. Unfortunately, for some reason, my thing's not working, so I can't bring her up. But chat, give me your thoughts on Sydney this season. I gotta say, she did me so proud. I said this last week, but the fact that a lot of people were saying she wouldn't even make it past Jaden all that time ago, and like here she is, a couple points away from making it to the final 2. So freaking proud of my number 1 overall pick. I just all I gotta say, I was really rooting for her. Fun character as well. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Very fun choice from the season. Ultra, thoughts on Sydney?
She proved me wrong in a couple of places. Like, I was never under the impression she would make it far, at least not at first. It was around the middle point where I was wondering, she got a little shaky with like with some of the leadership moments for a second. Like, I don't know, like, is she gonna make it far? And she bounced back. So you know what? I was just picking up the wrong trail, I guess. I'm not sure what the term for it is, but I assumed her edit and her path in the season was going to go a certain route. I was wrong. I'm not the kind of guy who predicts these kind of things very well.
Well, speaking of, Gumball, I know Sydney was kind of up and down for you all season as well. So overall thoughts on Sydney, the character, and like as an edit, did she? I assume she made a lot farther than you thought she would.
I mean, going through like how she plays on my power rankings week for week, she was actually one of the more stable presences. Like I always had her like in the 4 to 6 range. I had her in the 4 to 6 range pretty much every single episode of the season, which kind of surprised me. I didn't plan for that, but I guess it kind of fits with where I saw her going, where it's like I saw the longevity there for her. Like I felt like she like was there on the show. She was shown as being pretty competent and stuff, but I just felt like by the end she was like being overshadowed by like Jada, like and even Ellie. Like I felt like Ellie was getting a much more developed edit than her. And with Jada being like this like person to beat essentially, like it just made me feel like from the black jackets on that Sydney was probably like the least likely to actually win. No, obviously she still got to the final 3. I'll give her that. She made it a little further than I expected her to. I would have thought she would have gone out in the least spot final 4. But again, coming to this episode, I was feeling certain that she would be the person going out, and I was right. But like she put up a good fight. But I liked Sydney on the season. I felt like she was a very decent chef and someone who seemed affable enough.
Mm-hmm. Jem, anything to add to that?
About
Sydney? Yeah.
Oh yeah, she had a good run and she surpassed my expectations. But I feel like that's it. She did a good run, and I actually wouldn't have been surprised had she made the final 2. Like,
at this the way she kept going, because speaking of that, I'm very interested. Because I know some people. I've been notoriously pretty low on Ellie all season. I'm interested to see what the chat thinks about Ellie as a final 2-ish. Anyone, and one of you guys can talk. But like again, she was invisible for the first 2 episodes. I mean, she did get more content as we went along. I think we were just so confident that Lisa and Jada were going to be the final 2, possibly, or one of the men, possibly, and Henry and Chris early on. So, Ultra, I'll start with you. How do you feel about Ellie as a finalist?
I'm a little bit divided. I'm not going to lie. It's like there's good qualities to her, and she's never once let up, at least in services, and she did improve in challenges, granted. I think the only thing that I'm a little bit taken aback by is just how much the edit focused on people she didn't like. Now, to her credit, a lot of that was fueled by professionalism, because she didn't think that the way that people like Alexandra or Anaya compose themselves in the kitchen was worthy of making a head chef position. But I think the edit makes it look a little cattier than it's really meant to be. So, again, that is all an edit thing. And we've just gone on this whole thing with Matt about how the edit can be especially deceptive. And maybe it is in this case. Maybe it's just to make it more obvious that Jada is probably going to win, which I do still think is going to happen. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been proven wrong a lot all season, and I just take that. I just take that as is. But I, in general, wouldn't be too unhappy to see her win. I just don't think it's especially likely.
Well, that's a gumball. Go to you. I mean, who's winning season 24? Is after all of this? Because that's the thing. Oh, I completely forgot. I'm saying all this like you. What am I saying? You've been had Ellie over Jada this entire time, so I'm like acting like Jada's obvious. But Gumball, you're probably the most interesting person to ask this, as everyone's picking Jada. Do you still believe in Ellie's gonna win, Gumball? What are you feeling as we go into the finale? It should be interesting.
I mean, I don't think this episode did much to change my mind one way or the other. I will say though, if we're going based off these last couple seasons, I've been very good at predicting who gets second place. So again, like I think if Jada wins, then I think it'll just be me falling into the same trap again of me trying to overthink it, me trying to think, oh, they're not going to make it that obvious.
So
to be fair, I feel like Ellie probably has a better edit at this point of the season compared to like to Jonathan or even to Hannah. Like that's her name, right?
I'll give you that.
Yeah. So again, like I probably feel better about Ellie than I do about. I probably feel higher on Ellie than I was on either Jonathan or Hannah by this point in the season. But if I'm wrong, then it wouldn't shock me, as again, like I've had similar thought processes before in the last couple seasons, and I've been very good at predicting the second place person if history serves. But I have to stick to my guns, because if I switch now and I'm wrong, then that'll probably be even worse of a look for me. So I might as well just commit to Ellie.
All right, I like it. Let's see what happens.
Go down with the ship.
Let's see what happens. That should be fun. Gem Ultra, I assume you guys are sticking with Jada, though. Or is you guys on Gumball's side?
Nah, I'm sticking with Jada.
I'm sticking with Jada. It's obvious.
Yeah. I'm open for. I don't know. To be honest, like I would not mind a Jada dominant win. She'd be the youngest winner. Again, I feel like her first service on the blue team, we should win over to the red team. It's just so iconic, you know. It's just a fun character, fun overall presence. So if it's, I know some people don't like obvious winners, but I've been very vocal about that. But we'll see what happens next. Either way, I'll be excited
about that. They keep mentioning that as a plot point. Oh, I want to be the youngest winner, but wasn't that Danny? Like, wasn't he 21?
Oh, he's 20. He was 23.
Oh, okay.
He was 23. Yeah. All righty, guys. So that we'll get to. Let me first, real quick, before I get to Jem's game here. I saw a lot of super chats, so let me just go through that. Who would you all say is the villain of the season? I think Anaya, and I think the chat will agree with you. Maybe some people could say Alexandra, but I think it's pretty clear those two. Thank you so much, Vlogs, for the donation. Was Jason? This is some of these questions again. Matt was already answering, so I just But regardless, thank you so much for the donation, Mixer Maker. I like this comment. I brought this up. You don't belong in the kitchen. You belong in pastry. Isn't that done in the kitchen? It's like right. I totally agree with that. And
my guess is I don't actually know. It's probably something that's done before service, because I do know baking takes time, but I don't know.
Did you hear? Yes, of course, and he did hear about that. But he was surprisingly high on Ben. I was surprised about that. It all comes, says Nathan Tucker, boys. Can you believe, guys? It comes down to next week. That's crazy. Our third season doing this. Florida versus Nevada. Jada versus Ellie. So we've got, two sides of the country here. She'll be the youngest winner in HK history. Yes, that is the case. And yeah, people still give him crap about that because people are weird. It's been 20 seasons since season 4. That's absolutely crazy. I guess that was one thing I did see. I kind of asked him about the big 3, but he never really talked about Lou Ross, I guess. But whatever. And Nathan, if you're still here, I'm also the same age as you. I was also 8 years old and 25 now. So that's pretty crazy. It sounds like the Daily Swift said anything that could bother Lou Ross. So you are not a fan of Lou Ross, it seems like. And we got a big lore, if you remember, of the exotic tartar dish. So that was fun. So yeah, guys, I'm sorry I couldn't answer all of them like directly, but thank you all so much for the donations. Super chats. But yeah, so it's been a fun stream, obviously, with Matt. Talked a little about the episode. But Jem, for the final time in season 24, let's play your game. Let's do this. Let's try to finish before the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I'm almost just gonna send a couple of screenshots to myself, and then I swear I'm gonna be all with you. Okay.
And how many is it left?
Jim,
we're just gonna run everything now. That's it, that's
okay. Oh,
all right.
It's okay, guys. This is it. This is it, boys.
I closed the poll. I took care of it while you guys were finishing talking. Fuck it,
All right, I respect that. Okay, because I was like, Jim, we've had almost 2 hours. You're not done yet. I was confused. I was like,
we were having a pretty good time talking to Matt.
All right, let's go. So, at the 22nd place mark, I'm just give me a minute to load up some more images, and then you guys could take a break to talk. But for now, let's run through the first half. Okay. So how it worked was we were at 49. I asked you guys to vote people out, and one person from each state would survive. I made an exception for 2 people from California because they had the same number of votes against them, and they had the same vote score. And I was like, let's let it slide and keep it at 22 instead of 21 states left. Well, not states, but like 22 people for 21 states and whatever. So that's the first half. 49th place is the guy who checked his makeup in season 13.
Frank.
There you go.
Wow. Top 50 for Frank. How about that? All right. Go
Not his makeup, his hair, but close. But yeah, it mattered to him.
All right. Next person is going to be the winner of season 24.
Jada.
Yeah.
To be fair, even not counting that, I did say it first a while ago. So
yeah. Next up, this person is from Boston and sure lets you know it.
Chris.
Woman.
Jennifer.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Christian kind of said it more to the point where it was kind of all that we knew about him.
Next person fucked up the mashed potatoes on their last service. Season 7.
Ed?
Mm-hmm.
No. Ed's this high. Wow. That's
people did like him.
I like him. I'm glad.
Odd, but okay.
Next person is a bald guy who likes going skiing.
Boris?
Kevin?
I don't know.
Kevin Gatto, yeah. Next person is this nice person from season 22, but that's all I've got to say about her.
Lee?
No, for Lee, I would have said that Flynn has a crush on her.
Carmen. Sammy.
Lower.
Danya.
Yep. No, we got Danya.
This person just made the gift face.
Sandra.
Yeah, Sandra.
Wow, Sandra's a boy. This is some stocking ones so far.
It's because it's a bias. Because you interviewed all the 22 people, like there's a bias again.
To be fair, I didn't do it for Sandra, but if anything, that'd make her more forgettable. But go ahead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody here, like
remember, Jim. Remember, Rochelle is limited like before 100th place, so who knows how these rankings.
My point being is that there's a bias for 22 contestants. Like half of them were still in the game by like the top 100.
Yeah.
Anyways, this person is my favorite or one of my favorite contestants.
Dave.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know.
Yeah, we never done this before.
Yeah, I told you guys.
Okay.
It's okay, whatever. Next person, according to Gloria, should have won season 5.
Paula.
I got that
one. Paula.
Next person was Brandon's rival last season.
Egypt.
Yep, a country in the Horn of Africa. Next person was solid as up.
Rock. That'll be a tie. We'll call that a tie.
This person was eliminated tonight.
Who got eliminated tonight? Sydney. Yeah.
I was trying to give it to you, and I was like, wait a minute, you really had to double backtrack that soon.
Yeah.
This person is from Philly.
Millie
from Philly.
That should be 8 for me.
Bad episode for Sydney, by the way.
In 37th, this person
speaking of Philly,
was the only person to be escorted out of the Hell's Kitchen in a wheelchair.
Oh, GG.
That's 9.
Watch out, Flynn. All right. Next up, this person said, "Just bring the damn fish."
Down here.
Yeah. This person apparently was only won because of his personality, according to Gloria.
Dave?
Danny.
Sorry, yeah. Although Dave would make sense if it was a different season.
Could you imagine if Dave won for his personality? Oh my God, that'd be interesting.
I like Dave for his personality. Like, let's not knock it.
I guess.
This person was my favorite like personality or entertainment contestant of season 19.
Mark. No, he wouldn't be this high. Declan.
Mary Lou.
Mary Lou, yeah.
Ooh.
Like
I mean,
she just
to be
like,
fair,
like
there's a large pool there. Like they're
I
all
put season 19's premiere as like one of my better ones for the double premieres, just by virtue of like Mary Lou like was a strong reason of that.
Like I'm sure like part of it I had to assume was a little bit of COVID, and I was just like, I just kind of want to watch something. But I do, honest to God, mean it. That premiere holds up.
It does. It does. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Mary Lou's like carrying like most of it.
All right, go ahead.
She just says stuff in such a funny way. It's like, I'm good with anything. Yeah, I tell you I'm good with anything. But deep down inside, I'm like, don't give me rice. Man, I hate rice. And she gets rice. Why the third thing rice? I mean, why couldn't I get any other freaking starch? I'm not sure what it is. It's not like it's a funny line. She just says it funny.
Yeah. Next person, we just talked about Mary Lou. This person, this person that was going to say everybody thought was her boyfriend for some reason.
They're cute together.
For some reason, yeah.
Next person is apparently the best winner of all time.
Dave.
Megan.
Oh yeah, duh.
There's a bias because this person was on Hell's Kitchen as a sous chef.
Heather.
John or Heather. Michelle?
None of you are getting this by
Heather? Wait,
I mean, he just said Heather. Wait a minute.
Who are we forgetting?
On Hell's Kitchen as a sous chef.
Jay? No, he didn't win though. Christina?
No,
Christina? Oh, Christina. Yeah,
Done.
No, wait, no. The way you phrased it, I was like, apparently she's the best winner ever, dude. Like people.
No, but it's true. Like people on the line are like, oh, look at the thing. It says,
I did say Megan first because I'm sorry, she is the best winner ever.
Well, no, I think Megan is the best winner too. But people online are like, whenever people rank their winners, they're always putting Christina first because, well, like she was the sous chef, so there's a bit of a bias.
I think she's a better leader, and Megan's no slouch as a leader, but she didn't have as hard a team to deal with as Megan did.
So this person beats out Christina by one placement and was basically the Devin of season 14.
The Devin of Allison?
What?
Randy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking placement, and I was like, no, personality.
This person, Matt was talking about them. This person, give me a chance. This person was probably the biggest. I wanted to talk to Matt about this, but I said like this person was like the biggest talker on the bus.
Craig.
No.
Could you imagine if it was high? Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm at 15.
This person had so much tragedy last season.
Hannah.
Tragedy.
Well, she did that thing too.
Lulu?
No, bad things. There was such a sob story with this person, and then they get cut right before the gift phase.
Oh, Anthony.
Yeah.
You're right.
Next person, I'm an Italian.
Giovanni.
Salvatore,
yeah. I didn't go to school, chef.
that's same guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Next person's also Italian, but he's ginger for some reason.
He's what?
Ginger.
Okay,
let's be more specific. Season 22.
A ginger Italian from season 22. Jonathan? What?
Had?
He's Italian? Okay.
Oh yeah. Benvenuti is an Italian last name. You got that. And he does mention it like once.
Next person.
Yeah. Other than his daughter like a million times, which I'm all for. Anyway, go ahead.
Good point. Next person was this person was like the sole survivor of like season 21 in these polls like for a long time, and now they're finally out. Yep. Yeah, but I
think you said it first, so
yeah, he said it first, but like they were like the only season 21 person in the game for like since before 100 people, I think. I might be wrong about that though. This person apparently served dog food. I forgot what their story was.
Bobby.
Yeah, but season 13, forgettable. Yeah.
I mean, not intentionally, but yeah.
This person played or competed twice and won once.
Michelle.
Other one.
Ariel.
24th. And then last person before you just need to give me like a minute. This person
a minute.
This person was also a sous chef.
Heather.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'll give you that one, Tim.
All right, hurry.
I've gotten 18 of them, though, for
All right.
sure.
Guys, keep talking. I'm just gonna load up the images and then.
All righty, Gumball, how you doing, man? Did you know? I know me and Ultra are having a game, but did you know what percent, if you had like all the time in the world, how many of those would you have gotten just from Gem's clues?
I think I almost got Anthony. Like I had to like for like the names and stuff, but yeah, I mean, like aside from that, it's like I'll be honest. It's like if this were Survivor, I'd probably do a lot better at it. But it's like I feel like for HK, like it's not like a lot of the stuff like doesn't like crystallize into my memory the way that it would for Survivor. So it's like, yeah,
for sure, I get that. Yeah, so, it was amazing when you got Tad last week. All right, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready now.
Nice. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let's go. Last round, boy. Let's go.
Okay, so basically for the top 22, with the exception of one person, every person who gets eliminated here is going to eliminate their state as well. And for the top 22, I asked you guys to vote for a winner, meaning that what's going to happen is their votes are going to deduct from their vote count, and then the contestants still with the lowest vote count. I said highest by accident in the poll, but if you have the lowest vote count, you win because a vote count is a bad thing. So with a vote count of 14, in 22nd place, representing the state of Michigan, is the person who won season 16.
Ryan. I mean, Kim would technically be correct because, that's her real name.
Yeah. In 21st place, from Missouri, this person.
Trenton.
Yeah, also a winner. You're right.
I got to know my Missouri Midwest winner, boys.
Weirdly, it's the geography that I don't quite have down, but,
This person from Florida, also a winner.
Danny.
From Forgettable Season.
Dave?
Latasha.
Yeah, Forgettable Season. That's.
I know she doesn't scream Florida for me. All right, cool.
This person from Connecticut. Yeehaw!
Van.
Yeah. In 18th place, this person from DC was the winner of the last poll.
Declan. Declan. Oh, man. Declan from first place to 18th. Oh, my.
This person, another winner from Colorado, 17th place. This person was a gamer who created the sabotage.
Michael. Wow. Michael above Declan. Hey, I actually agree with that, but
so there were 5 New Yorkers left in the game, and 4 of them were eliminated last round because y'all had to vote people out. And the one person who survived amongst those New Yorkers was like a lot of decent New Yorkers got kicked off, and then this one New Yorker stayed, and it's kind of a meme how this person stayed. But in 16th place, we've got the most memeable contestant of all time in season 8.
Raj.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a New Yorker. That's funny.
I mean, I sort of knew that from his accent.
Mm-hmm. And I made an exception before. I made an exception about one of the states because there was a tie, and I didn't want to break the tie and be technical here. I wanted to be generous, so I let 2 Californian people in. So this one represents California. She could have been 22 if it wasn't for the stack final 2.
Sammy.
Yeah.
There we go. Miss Sammy.
In 14th place, the last person standing from season 24 is from Texas.
Henry.
Yeah.
Wow,
Henry, the last man standing literally from this season. How about that? Let's go. I like it.
This person from Georgia is Flynn's crush.
Lee. Oh, she's from Georgia? Guess
yeah, she is.
That's funny. I'm playing. Oh, that's funny. All right.
This person representing Illinois. Some people say she should have won last season.
Hannah.
Oh, Hannah.
Yeah. This person was pretty quiet on their season from Virginia, but they were pretty decent. I thought they would win it.
From Virginia.
Keith.
Steve, yes.
Wait, would you say?
I think
Steve. He said like
Steve.
Okay.
Steve Glenn. This person from New Hampshire. I think that should be it. Ultra.
From New Hampshire. Nikki.
Good job.
Yeah, I was knew there was someone obvious. Like, yeah, you wouldn't expect someone like Nikki to be from New Hampshire, you know.
This
I'm not
person
sure
from
why,
this
but
person from Louisiana.
She screams out LA girl, but okay.
Motto.
No. Really?
Anthony.
Yeah, everybody's like, you should have gone to Black Jacket.
And we will continue to do that to the end of time. All right, top 8. Let's go. Here we go.
All right, top 8. He was brought up by
69
Matt.
viewers.
Talk about Mac. Let me talk. Okay, so Matt brought him up tonight. I think he should have gone to Black Jacket from Nevada.
Lou Ross. Boy, Lou Ross. I like Lou Ross. That's hype too.
All right, this person was talked about by Matt as well, but he's deceased.
Petroza. He takes the crap.
In North Carolina.
I wish I could have gone all day without hearing that though.
Mm-hmm.
This person from New Jersey has a zebra sort of suit and won
Kyle.
this season.
All right. Remember, guys, next week, Kyle should be on stream. I know we couldn't make it last time. That's the plan. Kyle's next week.
You guys got Kyle finally? That's sweet.
I've been telling you guys that, yeah. All right.
I must not have been paying attention. Anyway, next up is this person, 5th place from Massachusetts. Everybody thinks they should have won their second season.
Ben. No, he wouldn't be this high. Their second season.
Jennifer.
This person is a true winner of season 17.
I said Benjamin. Oh, Nick. Yeah, my bad.
How do you fuck that up, Flynn?
At least I guessed. Because people think final 2. So like
this person from Pennsylvania is the lone shining star of their blue team.
John.
Yeah.
Top 3. Here we go. Wait, tell us who's left. Who's the final 3?
Okay, we've got one person from Europe.
No, just
another person from California and another person from Tennessee.
Well, we know who the Tennessee person is, and I can guess who the European person is. And you said California?
So why don't you guess them, Ultra?
Well, Sterling for Tennessee, duh. For Europe,
Ryan.
we just talked about that. So Ryan, I'm guessing. And
yeah, who's in California?
For California, trying to remember. Because I don't know who's on left.
Yeah, just tell us, man.
Okay, so in 3rd place is the guy from Europe, and that person is
Ryan.
You're right, Ultra Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was Dave, but okay. All right, so it's Dave.
Second
Dave
place
in
Europe.
Second place is the guy from Tennessee.
Wow, Sterling losing that top.
All right, we got new number 1. All right, so with that, drum roll, please. I think we know, and this is how it should be too. You guys agree with me?
So, in first position from California, I thought Lisa would win from California this season, but hey, at least a Californian's winning the poll. The contestant from California is the One-Armed Bandit.
Let's go. As it should be there.
Okay.
As it should be. So, yeah, we were all scared California's going to win season 24, but that's right. He should win the overall.
You know, I don't think I have said on stream yet who my top 20 favorite chefs were. Like, not on one of these streams.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Maybe one of these membership podcasts we'll have to do. So there you have it, guys.
On one of those, but just not on like a public stream like this.
For sure, yeah. Well,
But we just reached 2-hour mark, so we can hold on.
Yeah, no, it's been an amazing stream, guys. You know, it's fun too. Great time to have Matt on because it was mostly like a Matt interview. We did talk about a couple of Hell's Kitchen this episode, and of course, we finished up Jen's game, who his final time for season 24. So we're gonna miss you next week, but that's okay, guys, because we got Jem's impersonator, or I guess the other way around. Remember, like I said, guys, Kyle should be on next week. So not only is it tomorrow or next week.
I wish I could fucking be there, damn it.
If not only is next week, must watch for the finale, see who wins, but join us. I'm sure you guys have plenty of stuff for Kyle as well. Does anyone have anything else to say for the night before next week?
This will be the last time y'all see me in my 20s.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Cool.
Happy birthday, Ultra.
Early.
That 30-year-old man, that's how it should
not
be.
by much.
All right, guys. Again, this is the most viewers we've had I know we've had bigger viewers before, like in total for podcasts, but I think our most amount of viewers for one of these streams, episode recap. So thank you all so much for coming. I know you had a lot of fun. You guys got riled up, but we will see you next week, guys, for one final time. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
Yep.